His eyes were possessed by terror. They were big and white, with penetrating black circular centres. He stared at the battered panels of the aircraft's fuselage opposite him, as if that would somehow save him, but of course it wouldn't. And the rumble of the 4 massive engines left no escape, gnawing through heads and souls, setting easily aside any resistance it met.
The debate on whether or not to invade Afghanistan has split the nation and indeed the world.
Possibly not, Liz went on. Anyway, bit ahead of myself again as usual, aren't I? She was now engaged by a particular carpet tile in front of her feet. Better just let them do their job, eh? Owen shuffled awkwardly. We should be in soon, he said, a little coldly. Then rather clumsily added, It's not like buying a tin of beans, though, is it, love? His wife turned to look at him suddenly. We can never dream with you, can we, Owen? She daggered him viciously. Owen didn't look back at her. He kept his gaze fixed on the far wall, his anger rippling up a very unattractive-looking vein in his neck. If this day were an entity, then it would surely have been Satan. Such was its evilness. It had his power to match, too, and already this had begun to show itself in the rare combination of natural phenomena which drove it on. It was the coming together of physics and pure chance, and it was creating a merciless beast that threatened all the countries which lay in its path. It first appeared here now like a huge, wild savage, peeking curiously over the top of a faraway hill. High stratosphere for frizzled hair, dark, bold, full of clouds for its chest, and lightning bolts for teeth that connected freely with the ground. I couldn't get a clear shot, Paul reasoned back. The sergeant major turned his head and looked accusingly at him.
You had it there. You must have.
Not sure. No, I couldn't be sure it wasn't friendly.
Really?
Yes, sir, Major. The sergeant major moved. Now he was face to face with Paul.
Please don't tell me we have a problem here.
Owen blew in his drink to cool it a little. He seemed more on his guard now, as if he was expecting some kind of imposition via a question. Like what? He said carefully. Paul took a sip now too, and waited for a temporary little cloud of steam over his drink to clear before carrying on. Like, why should one of the most outspoken politicians this country's ever produced be living here on his own? Because that's what people don't realize. He turned squarely back to Paul once more. That it's love that creates war, not hate. Everyone fights for the life that's dear to them, not for the life that isn't. Owen sank back in his chair again. It was as if telling all this had caused him some pain, as if he was like a beekeeper visiting a hive, or that perhaps the honey that lay within it was worth the endurance. Well, anyway, he went on, sounding more bitter now, that's why I'm here. But you... people like you really don't get lost in places like this, no matter how wild they are. The boy smiled slightly, and then made a determined step forwards.
Go back to the village!
Paul screamed, but still on the boy came.
Some of you won't survive the next 24 hours.
The sergeant major stood tall and growled menacingly.
And those of you that do,
he continued,
might well wish they hadn't.
Things blossomed after that. Neither of us fought it. We didn't want to. Why take on the hard stones and blistering winds of the rugged peaks when there's a beautiful valley to walk through in the sunshine?
What was it? What happened to make you as cold as this?